This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya, from the RUTO School of Government. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at some of the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 30th of November, 2022, and I'm 2M.
I am DK.
And I am 2J, and in case you missed today's headlines, here they are. In the Daily Nation, the Hustler Fund is finally here. The Standard, landowners fear takeover after case loss. In the Star, Raila Central pillars shifting to Gachagua. And in the People Daily, die cast for IEBC chiefs in probe.
Start with the Daily Nation, and the
Yep.
Hustler Fund is here. First, I must begin by congratulating President RUTO for launching the Hustler Fund a day before the 1st of December, as earlier promised. Bravo, Mr. President. Indeed, hustlers agree with you. Mapema ndio best. Again, congratulations. However, Mr. President, sir, some uneducated Kenyans are telling us that the Hustler Fund is a twin brother to Fuliza. In fact, some are calling it state-run Fuliza. And maybe they are right. We say so because before Hustler Fund, there was UHURU Fund, Pesa kwa Vijana, and others. But these were hectic to access. Hustlers indeed, or rather needed letters from the chief, from the DO, and even from head of Nyumba Kumi to access this money. Making the money accessible to hustlers through their phones qualifies the Hustler Fund to be a twin brother to Fuliza. Again, Mr. President, bravo. Your government is the true digital government. But something is bothering us. This is because the Lucifer principles, or rather, Lucifer principle teaches us that good attracts evil. And on this, we think that availing funds to hustlers chap is the good. However, we think it will attract some evil. In our thinking, there are three possible evils that may come out of the Hustler Fund in December only.
Wow.
Number one is the rise in betting and gambling amongst the youth. Allow me to explain this using a mathematical formula known as BODMAS. Now, put high unemployment rates, then add high internet penetration in Kenya, then open bracket, then put rising number of gambling companies in Kenya, plus desperation to be rich, then close bracket. Then divide that with 14 days of repayment. Our equation leads us to rise in gambling and betting from this December. Evil number two is that Hustler Fund will be converted to Christmas stimulus package.
Yes.
Dear Mr. President, hustlers are not going to invest in December. They will use the money to enjoy fine wine, send fare to girlfriends and relatives, and make merry of this Christmas. Evil number three will be Fuliza itself. Already Hustler Fund candidates are loyal to Fuliza. Our thinking is that they will get the money from Hustler Fund, use it to settle Fuliza debts, and borrow more from Fuliza. In short, what we mean here is that Hustler Fund will help hustlers to borrow more from Fuliza.
Yes.
Then, on the 13th day, they will Fuliza and repay their Hustler Fund debt, and the cycle will continue.
Nothing wrong with that.
So therefore,
Yeah.
what is our conclusion of this? We think that there are two types of hustlers. The tested hustlers and the untested hustlers.
Yes.
Tested hustlers are like the sugarcane seller who is already investing 3,000 a day and earns 900 as profit every single day. But again, like Jesus did not come for the righteous, but for the sinners, the Hustler Fund is not here for the tested hustlers. It is here for the untested hustlers. Those that wish, but they don't have. And therefore, To the untested hustlers, the future is in your hands because you have been given this hustler fund.
In fact, I registered just today.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm still awaiting to find out what my limit is.
500 Bob.
2,000.
Best believe, as you said, DK, I
Yeah.
shall be using my hustler fund money to repay my Fuliza debt.
Are you tested or untested?
I am tested. Switching gears just a little bit. For 40 years, Raila Odinga has understood the importance of timing. Baba has been a master at reading the political waves and knowing when to strike. On July 4th, 1990, 3 days before Saba Saba, Raila was arrested along with Charles Rubia and Kenneth Matiba. Strangely enough, Raila had been in self-exile in Norway and had returned just before the scheduled protests were to begin. A young Raila Odinga had read the political moment and decided the timing was right.
Yeah.
Though this decision resulted in a year-long detention, the gamble paid off. The Saba Saba demonstrations went on without him and turned the tide on Moi's leadership. Even the handshake had elements of his knack for political timing. The 2017 election came to an end and Raila read the mood of the nation. And when he swore himself in as a people's president, it was a stroke of genius with high returns. Raila's political journey has been full of moments where he is called to a particular purpose and he captures national imagination to achieve it. And the very best kind of politician, of course, advances their own interests while serving the people. Is this not what Baba has done?
Yes.
So if timing is indeed everything, what has happened now? We keep asking this question. Has Baba lost his mojo?
Yeah, I think so.
William Ruto has offered up Baba plenty of protest-worthy mistakes just in his first 100 days alone.
Yeah.
And Raila has addressed none. Is this politics or is this timing? He gave us a lukewarm statement on GMOs and promised justice for the Chirera 4. But as the dailies tell us, after pressure from Nyanza leaders and the disappearance of Azimio Kikuyus, Raila has called off another rally. Now, am I recognizing historical parallels or has something changed? Has God stopped whispering in Raila's ear? A man once so in tune with the people now seems worn out.
Yeah.
And my point is not to bash Honorable Raila. He is, after all, a national hero.
Correct.
Instead, I want to make a declaration that the problem is not Raila. It's us, Kenyans. The same people where receiving 70 sorries is enough to forgive an incompetent governor. Where constitutional change is proposed every day by politicians who cannot read. Where murderous wives are acquitted because they are beautiful. And where leaders enter politics to escape the law as civilians. If God has perfect timing, then there is a reason why Raila is offbeat. The same national pessimism that is infecting the RUTO presidency has infected the opposition and the likes of Baba. The law of attraction dictates that whatever you focus your energy on will come back to you.
Yes.
So I ask, has the energy of the nation gone sour? I didn't name any names.
Same murderous wives?
Let Baba be Baba.
Today we want to congratulate President William Ruto for having the social graces and allowing former President UHURU Kenyatta to take center stage at the DRC meeting on Monday this week. Your Excellency, you played the bigger man by allowing your predecessor to take the shine. That was very presidential. Bravo, sir. And for those who don't understand why Ruto did this, allow me to explain this using a story. In July 2004, former US President Bill Clinton traveled to Southeast Asia to assess the damage of a tsunami that rocked India, Thailand, and Indonesia. He went there as a special envoy of the UN Secretary General. Now, in Clinton's entourage was his predecessor, George Bush Sr. During the flight, Bush Sr. wanted to sleep, but the only bed available was reserved for Clinton. Clinton was the boss of the whole mission. But when Clinton heard his predecessor wanted to take a nap, he gave up the bed immediately. Clinton, on the other hand, opted to play a game of cards with the plane's crew in another room. An hour to landing, Bush Sr. woke up from his nap and went to look for Clinton. When he opened Clinton's other room, he found Clinton asleep on the floor. Clinton slept on the floor because he couldn't fathom how his senior could withstand a 15-hour flight without sleeping on a bed. What's my point here? If William Ruto let Uhuru Kenyatta take center stage at the DRC meeting, it is because Ruto has learned social graces. He couldn't stand his former boss standing at the periphery with the Watus. He accorded his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta the same treatment Clinton accorded Bush Sr. But there's more to this than just good graces by Ruto. In my view, Ruto is playing high politics. If Ruto and Uhuru, just 2 months after the election, there's a supposed major fallout, can share scribbled notes and cheeky smiles, iko kitu. And my hypothesis is Uhuru is Ruto's plan B, just in case Gachagua goes rogue. Remember, the Gema succession is still up in the air. Nobody has full ownership of Gema as we speak. And if Uhuru still has some shares in Gema, Ruto could cash in Uhuru's shares in 2027. If Gachagua told us Gema will be won in 40 days, prepare for battle royale. Ruto could just make a comeback.
I like that. That's a good point. What a backup plan.
Wait, can the president, who is a retired president, become a deputy to another?
The constitution does not say he cannot.
It does not say he cannot, yeah.
Oh,
okay. So on that note, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines by. We ask ourselves, is a headline topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and finally thoughtful or just plain lazy? I want us to instantly toss the Standard. Just toss it. The Star, Raila central pillars shifting to Gachagua. As Tuam has told us, maybe not. So we'll toss that one. The People Daily, die cast for IBC chiefs in probe.
We toss that one.
Yes, I think we toss that one as well. I think, yes, indeed, the die is cast for them. Again, we encourage them to resign before they are fired.
Yes.
That leaves us only with the Daily Nation. The Hustler Fund is finally here.
And before you go anywhere, 2J, I'd like to mention something. And I'd like everybody to go and watch that event again. When the event began with William Ruto and Gachagua there, I did not see them at any one point speaking to each other. Yes, they ate maize together as they were walking, but they did not speak to each other.
Did they eat maize or did Rigathi eat maize?
Rigathi brought maize.
I don't know where he got it from.
Oh my.
But the point here is none of them spoke to each other. And every time Ruto had a laugh, he turned to his left where the governor of Nairobi, Sakaja was.
Yes.
Never at any one time did he glance to his right where Rigathi was and have a laugh. And when it was time for William Ruto to speak, he said, "Thank you very much, my deputy, and my very good friend Musalia Mudavadi." Go watch that clip. It tells you the body
marriage
language.
is getting frosty.
The body language was super cool, and there was so much tension. And I saw Rigathi Gachagua taking so many glasses of water, and his body language was he was pretty tensed. There is something up there.
He was frozen. I remember the time that they were about to buy the shirts.
Yes.
And a joke was made about Rigiji.
Yes.
And Rigiji looked like he was frozen. When President Ruto touched him, he didn't feel like he was touched. I think there's something to what you're talking about.
There is something there.
All right, we'll keep watching. All right, so there we have it. The Daily Nation gives us our winning headline. On to the political pieces that we also call cartoons, where we have a 3-part criteria, but on Wednesdays we just say, is it good? Is it bad? End of story. Let us start with the Star, DK.
This is a man who was once in sync with the population, but now he seems to have lost his mojo. It's a caricature of Raila Odinga in the early 90s and 80s.
Yes.
Showing his hand with Bado Mapambano stuff. Then you see the Pentagon Raila in 2007 in yellow, or this orange. Orange.
Yes.
That is when he appears very strong.
Yes.
And then you see another Raila rocking NASA colors. His hand looks
wavering.
But Raila in Azimio,
he
looks like he's completely bent. These all going into the things that was meant to happen today, the rallies, the protests, whatever it is. And I think Raila is wasting our time on these things. I think so.
Oh no.
I think he is wasting our time.
Did you not hear me explain how it's not Baba's fault, it's yours?
Well, Dickie, I actually do not disagree
I
with
mean,
you.
you talked about timing.
Uh-huh.
It's also about Raila to know that his time is out.
True, very true. All right, let's park that cartoon while we take a look at the Daily Nation.
Daily Nation, you have caricature of Moses Kuria there at his desk, Ministry of Trade, Investment and Industry, and his counterpart there, Mythical Inturi, Ministry of Agriculture, on his desk. But Kuria seems to be, he's answering Mythical Inturi's phone and also signing on his papers. And the backdrop there is there's a whole ship with the imported maize at the port of Mombasa, and there's also a portrait of William Ruto, seeming to be he's seemingly enjoying the little tip. And the context of this, and I actually support Mythical Inturi. They said, please ignore what Moses Kuria said, because the
That's
mandate,
my ministry.
Yeah, the mandate of importing maize is on his ministry. So as Moses Kuria was talking as who, that's what the cartoon seems to be talking about.
I'm just surprised that it took so long for any one person in Ruto's government to make a statement.
But let me tell you the bigger imprint here is, and I think Ruto has done this beautifully. He has divided Mount Kenya beautifully. Mount Kenya West has come out and seems to be strong. Mount Kenya West is Nyeri, Kiambu, Murang'a. You know, Mount Kenya East seems to be fighting back. That's the Meros and the Embus. They are saying keep your tough, stay on your line, mind your business, don't attack me. And look, if these guys keep coming at each other like this, the sole winner of this division
is William
Ruto.
But and I agree with you, because if you look at the portrait behind these two gentlemen, the portrait, in that portrait, William Ruto is laughing hysterically.
Absolutely.
But what captures my mind here right now is the hand of Kuria.
Yes.
It seems to be so long.
Yes.
And they say that the hand of government is very long, that it can reach you whenever it is.
Yes.
It's signing on behalf of
the Ministry of Agriculture. It tells you the sweeping powers Moses Kuria may have.
All right, let us also park the Daily Nation. Good cartoons today. And take a look at Gado in the Standard. Okay, here we have a loaded cartoon today. Here we have, we're going to assume, what appears to be caricatures of William Ruto dressed up as is that a priest or cardinal?
A prophet, maybe.
A prophet. On the other side, we have a scientist who I want to say looks a bit like David Day.
I thought the same thing.
Right? Okay, now here we have some kind of mad scientist setup. We have taxes, hustler fund, bottom up, Western grants, loaned Chinese herbs, Rutosterity, Rutonomics, fertilizers, IMF and World Bank pills and GMOs. And all of this concoction is being created to create the hustler revolution. I thought this was a fantastic cartoon.
It's beautiful.
I think we all understand, of course, this is in reference to the recent GMOs, the Chinese contracts that were meant to come out, fertilizer prices that were meant to come down that are yet to. This made me think about the mad scientist trope, right? So I did a bit of reading about it, about the mad scientist or the evil genius. And they say that this person fails to recognize or value human objections in an attempt to play God. So this idea, this hustler revolution that Ruto is trying to create, he's doing this at all costs, you know, in spite and despite of the people. And you know what? Do it.
I love this.
Right? People do not get power with, you know, with not knowing what they want to get out of it.
Absolutely. And I love the spelling on fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
If I was in a laboratory like this, I would not be there.
You know what I suggest? Can we have all three cartoons?
Winning cartoon. I would definitely agree.
Tie.
I would definitely agree.
Absolutely.
My only objection with the standard cartoon is really, are we giving David Day that much clout?
Look, I mean, if you're saying, and I love what you said, mad scientist, you know, this is a mad laboratory. You know, it's a mad lab. All these things put together, you just never know what could come up.
That's true.
You just don't know what the kind of concoction will come. It might just all blow up.
Exactly.
But it also tells you, maybe Gado is telling us Ruto is doing too many things at the same time. He's got too many balls in the air. But nonetheless, I think it's a great cartoon.
No, it is a fantastic cartoon. Okay, there you have it. We have winning cartoons from all of our three dailies and a winning headline from the Daily Nation. That is the end of today's show. Don't forget you can find us on your TV screens. We're on Pang Free to Air, GoTV and Star Times. Have a lovely evening and we will see you tomorrow.
God bless.